This is the Nexillumi 50-foot LED strip lights, music sync color changing RGB LED strip. The Amazon listing says it has a 20 key remote, a built-in microphone, app controlled LED lights, 50-50 RGB LED strip, app, remote, mic, 3-button switch, so a lot in the box, which it should be because it's almost $70. So this is a lot. I expect to find two 16.4 foot strips in here essentially, usually, but this is 50 foot, so it's a lot of light here. So I have a pretty high level of experience with LED strips, so I know what these LED strips are. Also, one thing I did buy from Nexillumi is these connectors. This is something that these are L-shaped connectors. For all the LED strips I have, I didn't really have any of these. So if ever you need to cut out like a bad section or something like that, I just didn't really have anything to fix those. So I bought these from Nexillumi as well. That doesn't come with this, and I didn't even have to buy these because this comes with some, which is great. There are some instructions on how to reach them for support, lots of information on that. And there are, look at this, there's connectors. One of the things I really appreciate about what this comes with is, so we have these connectors. Again, they're the typical L-shaped connectors for LED strips, so nothing surprising here. You cut the LED strip if it has a waterproof covering on it, which some of them do. These ones do not. Some of them have a plastic waterproof covering. You strip that back, you pull this up, you line up the RGB little pins and the power RGB and power pins, and you snap that back. Sometimes they fit kind of securely. I've had some slip out. But then also, one of the things that this comes with that is really cool are these little clips. And these clips are such that you can put the LED strip through the middle of them, and then there's a double-sided tape that you can stick on them. If you're like me and you have experience with LED strip lights, you know that the adhesive on the back of those strip lights is fairly worthless. Everyone I've used, it just doesn't stick very well, so you either have to use a different double-sided tape or like a Command 3M strip or something to keep them on. They just don't last that long. In this, here's a warranty information, some Facebook Messenger information. This tells you about the little extension cords, and how to install the L things that we looked at, opening the clip, etc., etc. Here's a support thing, key points of interest. So this tells you to, stick the LED strip on a clean, solid surface, and then there's a instruction manual. The instruction manual says it tells you what's in the package. However, I found this to not be accurate. Not that there's less than this. There's actually a lot more than this. The 4-pin LED strip connectors, we got that. The LED strip hooks with back adhesive, we got that. The LED strip controller, that's this, so that's what's going to plug into power, and then there's these two outputs, so there's two strips in the box so you can plug into each one of those, and then there's a IR receiver for the remote. It says it comes with either a 44 key or a 20 key remote. The Amazon listing said a 20 key remote. I did not get a 20 key remote. This definitely looks like the 44 key remote to me. This is branded in Nexillumi, so it's unlike a lot of the other remotes I've seen for LED strips. There's a lot more colorful. Also in the box, we have the power supply. And I'm going to plug this in over here. Plug that in there. And then we have the LED strip lights. So far so good. There's two of these in the box. They are not waterproof. They don't have the waterproof covering over them. They have the pins on there. Technically, you're not supposed to turn these on when they're in a roll like this because they do produce a little bit of heat, but I'm not going to heed that warning for the sake of this. Let me turn off my light here so we get a little more color out of it. One of the nice things you'll notice about LED strips, or one of the immediate things you'll notice about LED strips, is the quality. Some LED strips, the diodes on the strips don't produce every light, and so you're unable to get a nice smooth transition through the lights. This one you'll see that each diode is doing every single light, so it's not jumping back and forth. That's very important, especially if you're like me and you like the fade setting. Let me remove that strip here. Let me do a fade 7. If you do the fade setting, that means that you're going to get more of a seamless transition through the LED lights as this flows. Let me turn down the speed here so it's not as flashy. And typically on these, to turn down the speed, you use the brightness up or down. That doesn't seem to be working in this case. It looks like there's a auto, slow, quick. So I wonder if I push on slow and tap it a little bit here. Yep, okay, so there is a button to make this go faster and slower fade through the colors. That's really nice. Typically, I don't see a dedicated button for that, but it's right there. You'll see auto, slow, quick, flash, which is probably going to be, okay, there we go. Flash, fade 7, which is my favorite. There's the jump 3, so it's going to jump through 3 colors. The jump 7, which is going to jump through 7 colors. I really like the fade 7. And then there's also these music notes here that, well, they're typically in the music settings. Let me look and see if this has any 44 key music remote. So the 44 key remote must be for the music activation. There's also a power button on the strip itself, so I could turn it off or on. If I click here, I can cycle through the colors. If I click M, then I believe that turns it to music, and it has a red light. So we'll see if that works as well. Right now it says it's on music, but maybe not. Oh, there it goes. So that's sound reactive. So the music buttons, let's take a look at this here. So the music modes are going to have a few different modes, I'm guessing. So there's another one. No, looks like it doesn't do that. Let's see here. Music mode, are you going to tell me what this is? Colorful, microphone, Well, there's a few different music modes here, so let's tap 1. Okay, so it looks like this is staying on. So it's doing a quick fade through the colors, but then it reacts to my voice. So it reacts to sound, it stays on. Let's go number 2. Nothing. So it's off until it detects sound, and then it flashes. Let's do number 3. Okay, so we are staying solid until music is heard, or sound is heard. Okay, number 4. So it's off, and looks like it flashes really quickly. So there's a little difference to it. Looks like music mode number 1 is probably going to be the preference for most people because it kind of stays on, it kind of fades. So if you do want something reacting to your sound, you also want it on all the time. I'm going to go back to fade 7 so this isn't flashing at me through the whole video here. So far, technically that's everything that's in the box, right? No, wrong. Also included are these. Here, let me turn this back on here. These strips they have double-sided tape on them, and you can loop this around and connect it kind of like a zip tie sort of thing, but only reusable. It looks like a little more reusable. So another way to suspend the strip. So not only do you have the connectors in here, the strip hooks, but you also have these, which is super nice, and there's a few of them. I have rarely seen that. But wait, there's more. There's also these hooks that are little plastic, let me get some focus here. Little plastic hooks that have screws with them, so you can screw those in, and then there's a little hook that goes over the strip. So this is even another way of securing the LED strip. But wait, there's more. There's also this double-sided tape, which I assume would be for this to put on the back of the controller here, so you can stick that. Oops, I hit something. Oh well, we can leave that on. Oh, okay, so the color button does cycle through the modes. That's nice to know. The little breathing mode. So that cycles through the modes, that cycles through the music modes, that's on and off. Okay, cool. Good to know. So more double-sided tape. And then, of course, we have the rest of the LED strip. And then, what what is this? This is 2 more rolls, full rolls of double-sided tape. Double-sided tape, foam stuff. So there's a ton in this package, and not all of it is even accounted for here. I'm looking at the Amazon listing, and it doesn't say anything about these being included, or these, or these, or these. Which, so you're getting a ton of stuff, and for almost $70, this is great. This is the most I have ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating just for the sake of this review. This is the most I have ever seen from an LED light package. Also included, there is an app that you can download and put on your phone. It's called eHome Light, and you can use it with your phone. I'm not that interested in controlling these with my phone. I didn't even download the app. I looked at it. It looks sketchy, to say the least. It's, you know, the screenshots and everything were in Chinese, and as far as LED apps go, according to the screenshots, it's fairly standard. You can choose your color wheel and choose the settings, but I'm perfectly happy with using the remote and setting this, especially if so if I turn this off, so right now it looks like it's on the fade mode. If I turn this off and I turn it back on, it should continue that mode, I would guess. Yep, there it goes. So it's still fading through. That's really all I care about, because most of the time what I'm doing is I'm plugging these into a like a controller, a smart switch controller, like a Casa controller or Wemo or something, and then I'm essentially just letting it go. And so when I can turn it on with my phone that way, and then it just continues the cycle that it's on. One of the things that I read in one of the reviews, and I don't really want to unravel these, one of the reviews mentioned that you can't use these end on end. So I'm wondering, most of the LED strips I've seen have 2 ends to it. The first is a male end and the other side is a female end, so you can link them together. If these don't have that female end on the other side, you can use them like this. So you can plug them both into, let me make sure I get that the right way, both into the same control unit here for the power, but you also should be able to daisy chain these on end. Now, if you don't have that on the end of these, let's say there's not a female end, you can use these connectors to bridge that, so you can cut it and bridge that between, so you don't need to use both of these. I think the complaint said that I didn't want the controller in the middle because they were making a circle around something, and I've never had a problem with that, because you can cut them, you can use the spanners. If there's not a female end on the other side, I mean, it's pretty easy to get past that. The other thing that some people don't know is on the end of these little pins here, most of the time you can just pull these straight out and then turn this into a female end receptacle rather than a male end. These ones seem to be, I assume these are the same. This one's in there really, really well, so I don't want to yank on it. But even still, if that's not the case, just cut the strip and use the connectors, and then you're going to have them both together, and yeah, no problem. You can use one power block for this. I've daisy chained together maybe 6 or 7 of strips exactly like this. I went all around my office, underneath the desk, around the wall, up over the door frame. So there were at least 6 of these end to end, and by the very end of the strip you could start to see a little delay. So 5 to 6 is probably the limit. This here is 50 foot of cable, so this is going to get me a long way to, now that I'm in my new office, I can run new colored LED strips all the way around underneath my desk and behind my computer screens and everything. So that's what I'm looking forward to for these. So overall, I think this is a great buy. Again, this is the Nexillumi LED strip light. It's a 50 foot LED strip light. It also comes in a 16.4 foot variation for about $24. This one here is about $66 currently on Amazon. So yes, it's and that does get quite hot if you keep it on the spool. So yep, don't plug this in when it's still on the spool. Make sure you take it off before you plug in the lights and go through it. But definitely worthwhile buy. This is a really great strip light, especially if you don't need a weatherproof installation with the waterproof. I really like these because I have noticed that some of my waterproof strips, with the plastic over top, or the rubber, whatever it is, over top of the lights to protect it from the elements. That rubber has kind of started to yellow over time, over the years, the longer it is. So I think that these will actually give me longer life using it inside. So great buy. And again, this is the Nexillumi 50-foot LED strip lights, music sync, color changing, RGB LED light strip with a 44 key remote, even though the Amazon listing says it's a 20 key. It has the sensitive mic built in, so music sensitive, sound sensitive. It has the 3 switch here, the 2 cables you can plug in, and it comes with power block, controller, user manual, all these little connectors, extra backing. I don't know if this was a fluke, so I'm going to keep them. Even if it is a fluke, I'm still keeping it, so thank you, Nexillumi. And also these connectors with the screws for a little more permanent, and these connectors to hang on even more, and then all this other kind of supplemental material. And it looks like there's a ton of support literature they give you, so I'm assuming that you can reach out to them if you need. Thank you for watching this review. I hope it was helpful.